Today on The Young and the Restless, Faith reveals her run-in with Cameron, Nick catches up with Sally, and Ashley learns Diane is free. In her suite, Sally paces, sighs, and answers a knock at the door, saying, "Finally, it's Chloe, not Nick," and she goes on about work. Sally stops her and Chloe asks, "What's wrong?" Sally tells Chloe about her episode with the blurred vision and her OB/GYN's diagnosis. She worries about the amount of work they have to do, but Chloe reassures her. "I just want you to take care of yourself. I don't want you to risk anything." Chloe promises she can trust her to keep this on track. Sally cries, "I'm just terrified." At Sharon's place, Nick gets off the phone after beefing up security around the ranch and tells Sharon he'll let his dad know. Sharon is convinced that was blood they saw on the champagne bottle. She worries that the packages were hand-delivered. Nick says he could have paid someone to bring them. Sharon frets that he may already be in Geno City. In the park, Faith apologizes to Cameron for bumping into him. Her boyfriend is always on her about walking and texting. Cameron tells her they'll chalk it up to a cautionary tale. He asks, "Hey, are you Faith Newman?" She says she is and asks, "Do I know you?" Cameron tells her, "It's a small world. I'm an old friend of your parents." He says he did some work with her dad years ago at Newman Enterprises and introduces himself as CK. They shake hands. Cameron next asks her to point Faith to an address on a piece of paper. Tucker meets Ashley at Society. She teases that she thought he was standing her up. Tucker reveals that he and Dom had a jam session after his music class. Ashley finds this incredibly cute. Tucker says if their engagement becomes a real wedding, Dom needs a better gig than ring bearer. He should be the leader of the band. Ashley smiles. Duly noted. Suddenly, she spots Diane walking in. She gawps that the woman is supposed to be under house arrest. Ashley tells Tucker she's calling the police. Diane needs to go back to jail. Tucker thinks they should get the facts first. The debate whether she'd be foolish enough to leave the house. Ash thinks she may have figured out how to remove her ankle monitor. They walk over and Ashley asks, "What the hell are you doing here?" Tucker needles about her taking his advice and removing the monitor, but she was meant to disappear. Diane can't believe it when Ashley hints she's calling the police. Tucker grins and Jack walks in and warns, "Don't even think about it." Jack reveals that Christine has dropped the charges and Diane is a free woman. Ashley wonders what technicality Michael dug up. Diane says she's been innocent all along. Jack and Diane announce that there was no killer. Phyllis is alive. At Sharon's place, she and Nick debate whether Cameron would have been brazen enough to drop something on the doorstep when all of them were inside. They hear the door and Sharon realizes it's Faith. She tells Nick she doesn't want to alarm her unless they know for sure there is something to worry about. Faith comes in and tells them she ran into an old friend of theirs. He goes by his initials, C something. Sharon asks, "CK?" Faith says, "Yeah, that's it. Nice guy." Catching up with Martha Madison, Belle, Days of Our Lives. In Sally's suite, Chloe tells her this is a no-stress zone starting now. Sally thanks her. Chloe recalls how she fell off a ladder while pregnant with Delia and thought she was going to lose her. She then decided to come into the world during a snowstorm when they couldn't get to a hospital. She fought to keep her safe and Sally has the same fight in her. Sally appreciates her support. Chloe's surprised she called Adam instead of Nick. Sally did call Nick, but he didn't answer. She still hasn't heard from him and hopes everything is okay. A knock comes at the door. Chloe's sure that's Nick now. She answers and it's Adam, who says, "I had to come back." Adam says if she's going to stay put, she'll need snacks and bottled water. It's really an excuse to check back in on her, but he sees she's in good hands. Chloe reports that she's got them covered, but she has to get to a meeting. She can't believe she's saying this, but she's happy Adam's there so she can pass the baton. Chloe heard he stepped up today and is glad he's doing the right thing. Adam accepts the praise and Chloe exits. Sally thanks Adam for coming back. At Sharon's place, she shows Faith a photo of Cameron on her laptop. Faith identifies him and asks why they called Chance when she brought him up. Nick tells her the man is extremely dangerous, and Sharon tells her if she sees him again to steer clear, call them immediately, and then Chance. Faith is freaked out. The doorbell rings. It's Chance, who asks Faith to tell her exactly what happened. She describes the run-in and Cameron recognizing her. He asked for directions to a bar. Faith shows Chance the address. Chance calls and sends an officer to the place. Sharon says it's near the motel where Nick thinks it's just another one of his sick messages. Sharon frets that he used their daughter to do it. Faith wants to know what's going on. At Society, Jack and Diane fill in Ashley and Tucker on how Phyllis was proven to be alive. Diane wonders if it was a plan hatched by the coven. Ashley thinks it's wonderful that Phyllis is alive. Diane feels it's clear that she was in on this with Jeremy Stark. She admitted as much to her son. Ashley thinks maybe Diane can explain why she'd do such a thing when she did it herself. Tucker chuckles that Phyllis had the perfect revenge plan. Jack assures that Phyllis won't be getting away with this. They'd part ways and Ashley tells Tucker this nightmare with Diane has just begun. At Sharon's place, she tells Faith that Cameron is a painful part of her past. She finds it difficult to talk about. Nick asks her, for now, to accept the fact that CK is a dangerous person to be avoided at all costs. Faith says, of course, but she hopes her mother talks to her about it at some point. She's not a kid anymore. Chance gets confirmation that Cameron is not at the bar and hasn't been there all day. Sharon realizes Nick was right. It was another tactic to get to her. Nick asks if Chance has enough now. Can you at least find out where he's staying? Chance doesn't have enough to arrest him or even question the guy, but they'll try to get eyes on him. Nick will get his dad's team on this too. He realizes he missed a call from Sally, calls back, and gets voicemail. Sharon thinks Nick should go. He says he'll come back over after checking in with his girlfriend and goes. Faith hugs her mom. At Society, Ashley is thrilled Phyllis is alive but worried it will make Diane thinks she's invincible. Tucker notes she was rubbing their noses in it and Jack was doubling down on his defense of her. Ashley figures she'll go after Jabba and she must protect her family. She'll need Tucker as a partner and ally. Tucker grins. He can see her brain working away. Ashley has to stop Diane in her tracks before she marries her brother and has even more power. In Sally's suite, Adam tells her their daughter will be fierce and strong. He mentions his hardy mother Hope. Sally still can't believe he grew up on a farm. Adam chuckles. He once birthed a calf. Suffice it to say, I would be a rock in the delivery room. Sally doesn't want to keep him from McCall, but Adam says nothing is more important than being there with her. Nick knocks and calls out. Adam opens the door. Nick asks what's going on, what happened. Adam says, Nick, glad you could make it. He tells Sally he'll check in later. Sally thanks him for everything, it meant a lot. Once Adam's gone, Sally tells Nick she had a scare. She fills him in on being at risk for preeclampsia and being ordered to take it easy. Nick's so sorry. He got her messages. Sally's glad he's there. Nick feels he owes Adam a big thank you. Sally says he was great. It was scary. I'm so worried. Nick tells her to do what her doctor said and take it easy. Sally assures him she's doing all the right things. Nick feels awful he wasn't there for her. Sally asks why it took him so long to respond. Is everything okay? At Society, Jack toasts to Diane's spirit and courage, and Diane toasts him for keeping her going. Across the room, Ashley finds them nauseating. She tells Tucker they can use their fake engagement as a distraction. She knows Billy told Jack her plans. I want you to come work with me at Jabut. Tucker loves how her mind works, but she should consider the possibility she is taking this too seriously and risks alienating both of her brothers. Ashley can't let Diane get what she wants. Tucker suggests she just let Jack and Diane have their happiness. Ashley can't let Diane get a stronghold at Jabut. Tucker reminds her she doesn't need the company. They can build something that would tower over Jabut. At Crimson Lights, Chelsea spots Adam and needs to talk to him about Connor. Has he noticed his moods have been all over the place lately? Adam asks what she wants from him, then apologizes for snapping. There's something bothering me. Chelsea asks what it is. Adam says there might be a problem with the baby. Chelsea is sorry and thinks it must be hard watching Nick and Sally together. Adam was able to be there for her today, but he wasn't her first call. He wonders if that's what's going on with Connor. It's not an ideal way to bring a baby into a family. Adam sighs that he's supposed to be focused on fixing McCall, but all he can think about is Sally and the baby. In Sally's suite, Nick tells her he was dealing with some family stuff. She asks, well, baby girl and I are part of that family now, right? He says, of course you are. Sally asks him to tell her what's going on. Nick says it's boring Newman business. She's not supposed to have negative thoughts in her head. Nick wants to take her to the bed to spoon. Sally tells her he's brilliant at making her feel like everything's going to be okay. Nick promises it is. They kiss and head to the bed to lie down. At society, Tucker tells Ashley they'd be unstoppable together. Ashley admits it's enticing, but she doesn't want Diane to win. Tucker presses her. He has cash from the sale of McCall, and she could have Jack buy her out at Jabut. It would be a ball. You'd forget all about what's-her-name over there. Ashley thinks he should make his case somewhere more private, so they head out. Jack tells Diane he gets the feeling those two are up to something. Diane doesn't care and wants to keep the celebration going. At Sharon's place, Chance asks if she's sure she's okay. She will be and knows he needs to get to work. Chance tells her to lock the door, stay on high alert, and call him if she needs anything. Sharon rejoins Faith and tells her she deserves to know what they're dealing with. I'll tell you exactly who this monster is. In his suite, Cameron pours a drink, kicks a swig, and flashes through past scenes with Sharon in his mind. He recalls saying she's his dream girl and he loves her. Setting his drink down, Cameron looks at a photo of Sharon on his phone and flashes to watching her and Adam look at the champagne bottle he sent in crimson lights.